y'all, what's up? We're back with another video, and yes, I found my phone. And the people who don't know what I'm talking about, I lost my phone a couple of days ago. And I haven't been posting as much as I promised some of my friends that I would when I found my phone. So, I'm gonna be doing a new thing. Saturdays and Sundays, I'll be reacting to scary stories. This one's a long one since I haven't posted in a while. And I'm sick, so my voice sounds different. Shut up. So my voice sounds different, I'm sorry, but I'm just sick. Everyone's starting to get sick, fam. So, we'll get into it, and this one's a long one, so y'all don't have to worry about it being short. So let's get into it. He always has the llamas. I want a llama now. Oh my god, it wasn't
a volleyball team, and every year we would go to a camp and do volunteer work for this guy. The camp was in the middle of nowhere. When we got to the camp, we immediately started to work until 8 p.m. This was around October, so it was already dark at 8.
Till 8 p.m.
My two friends and I were sitting around the fire, trying to figure out something we could do so we weren't so bored. We heard that there was a small river down the hill from the camp, and we thought we could check it out. The problem was that it was some guy's property, and the owner of the camp told us to not disturb him since the guy was a little strange.
Don't go.
We weren't really supposed to leave the camp, but being 16 years old, we loved breaking the rules. We walked about 10 minutes from the camp and finally reached the river. It was bigger than we expected, and there was a large wooden bridge that crossed it. The bridge was about 20 feet long and was big enough to let a truck go over it. My two friends and I decided to go under the bridge and check it out. As we were walking by the shoreline, we saw two headlights off in the distance moving towards the bridge, so we bolted underneath it and hid. We then heard the truck roll over our heads and to the other side. My friends and I chilled there for a while, just talking and throwing rocks in the water. It was about 8:30 at this time, and now it was pretty much pitch black. That's when we started to hear a slow rumble in the distance. The same truck had come back, and this time it was moving much slower. We stayed put under the bridge, stifling our laughter. Eventually, the truck moved over the bridge, but rather than going over to the other side, the truck stopped right on top of us. The only thing you could hear was the rushing water and the hum of the engine. Then, the door of the truck swung open, and out came a loud thump on top of the bridge. Then we heard a loud scream saying, "I know you're out there! I'm gonna find you!" I looked at my friends and they were both shaking.
Okay, at that point, the three of y'all and one of him, at that point when you hear that, you just gotta grab some rocks and sticks and start beating the hell out of him.
Fear. This must have been the crazy property owner, and he seemed pissed that we were on his land. He started screaming and saying he was gonna hurt us if he finds us. We could see that he had a flashlight and he was swinging it around looking for us. We heard loud thumps as he walked around a little bit, calling out for us, and thank God he never went under the bridge. Eventually, it went silent, and it sounded as if he went back into his truck. I was too terrified to move. We sat there for about 10 minutes, and then my one friend, who we'll call Trevor, whispered in my ear, saying that we have to go. I gave him a quick nod, and in slow motion, we moved out from under the bridge.
Grab a stick.
We started to army crawl on the shoreline of the river, and I remember looking behind me to see the top of the bridge. I saw a white Ford F-150. In the driver's seat was the man, staring right at me with a sinister smile, and he even gave me a little wave. At that moment, I screamed and ran. My friends saw me run and took off after me. I could hear screaming from behind us. I took a quick glance behind me and saw that he was chasing after us, and I couldn't quite make out the object in his hand. But it seemed to be a weapon of some sort. We ran
instantly turning into the Flash or Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm not wanting that. Forget
the forest and ducked behind a bush. It was pitch black in the forest, and we couldn't hear a thing. We sat there for a while, just shaking. The man never walked by us, and we never heard him. After we gathered our courage, we got up and walked back to camp, got into our tents, and tried to fall asleep. The next morning, we talked to the camp owner about the man that owned the property of the river. The camp owner said that he didn't know much about the man, but he knows that he has some mental problems, and he been accused of assault. I am so happy that we were able to escape from underneath the bridge.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what would have happened if he caught us.
He had a knife. What do you mean? That it? No, that wasn't it.
This happened in 2009. We would fly from our home state in California to Minnesota to visit my father's family for the summer.
That's what's
I've
up.
always enjoyed it there because of the nature and peaceful atmosphere. My father's family lived far from the nearest town, and he only had 2 neighbors. My only friend there was a girl who lived next door. Let's call her Morgan. She's around my age, and me, my sister, and her would always play from sunrise to sunset. One day at around 4 p.m., we were outside playing badminton. My sister hit the birdie too hard.
I never liked badminton. I would always miss the ball or hit it too soft. I'm gonna edit this out.
And it landed in the next door neighbor's yard. Morgan said she had more inside her house and went to get them. I felt uncomfortable leaving it there, so I told my sister I'll go get it myself. She told me not to do it and just wait for Morgan. While my sister was fixing the net, I decided to run and get it real quick.
But
as I was about to enter the gate, my sister grabbed me from behind and began telling me how much of a bad idea it was. That's when an old man came out from behind the house. He picked up the birdie and said, "Is this yours?" I said yes and asked if I could have it back. He said he had his grandchildren's old toys upstairs and asked if we wanted to have them.
No.
Me and my sister were very young at the time, and we thought as he lived so close and he looked like a typical sweet grandfather, what's the worst that could happen?
Y'all stupid.
So we agreed and entered through the back door. The first thing I noticed was the stench. It smelled of damp and rotting food. I shrugged it off at the time since he was old. Maybe he lived alone. We heard Morgan calling our names, and we politely told the old man that we had to go.
His window is broken. Why would you go in?
Return tomorrow. Morgan saw us through the window and immediately asked what we were doing there. I answered, "The sweet old man," and she cut me off and said that the house was abandoned since she moved there. I thought she was just playing around with me and told her to cut it out. She had a blank expression, and that's when I knew that she was serious.
Well, y'all better
run.
run.
I never told anyone because we didn't want to cause any trouble. But now that I'm older, I wonder if it was some ghost or creepy old man luring kids into that house. The house got demolished recently, which is why I wanted to share this story.
Good. Okay. Damn, drop my camera.
It was a cold, foggy evening when I contacted a close friend of mine to stay at my place for the night. Both of us were only 10 years old at the time, and my parents were often at work until midnight, so I was usually alone with nothing to do except watching a television show or reading a book. My friend Alex had agreed to come over and brought a game of Monopoly to pass some of the time.
That's what's up.
I also asked if he was interested in going to explore an abandoned subway station 3 miles away. He seemed excited at first, so we planned to go on the trip in the morning. I remembered that the subway dated back to the mid-1920s and became abandoned in 1932 after the market crash in 1929. I was very fascinated about its history, but never got the chance to go inside after my parents had warned me not to enter. As I quietly slept in my bed,
no, hold on, go
I
back.
heard what sounded like a playing around with me and told me
I went too far.
A book and became abandoned in 1932 after the market crash in 1929. I was very fascinated about its history, but never got the chance to go inside after my parents had warned me not to enter. As I quietly slept...
This man got an E.T. poster on his wall. Who remembers E.T.?
In my bed, I heard what sounded like a gunshot coming from the forest behind the house. Both of us woke up frightened after what we had heard.
I
told my friend not to worry, as hunters tend to go into the forest on frequent occasions.
For
but when I
what?
checked the time, it was 11:39 p.m. This seemed
No one
very
goes hunting
unusual,
at that
as
time.
hunters only came into the forest between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m.
How would you know? You
I
go
looked at
hunting?
Alex and decided to get out of my bed, intending to look through the window and spot for anyone in the forest. The darkness clouded my vision, so I was unable to see anyone in the forest. I turned around and looked at Alex again, when suddenly I heard the front door squeak open. Chills went down my spine. Both of us quietly moved to the bathroom, locked the door, and kept the light off. It was the only safe place in the house. Both of us were terrified as we desperately tried to keep as calm as
Neither of y'all got a phone. Y'all did.
we could. We heard footsteps getting louder and louder until they stopped in front of the bathroom door. And then this is when the most terrifying sound forced my heart to almost burst. Both of us screamed as the person chopped the door to pieces. It was pitch black inside the room, making it hard to find the vent, and by the time I spotted the vent, the person behind the door had made a hole big enough for us to see him.
Really? Guys, I'm sorry if I keep pausing, but I just gotta point these things out. If any of y'all know what an SCP is, y'all should know that that's the doctor. Not the good kind.
The man adorned black leather and was wearing a plague doctor mask.
He knows it. Me and this kid gotta be friends.
I scurried back to the vent, but it was too high above the floor for us to reach it. So Alex told me to go first because he was the strongest.
Yeah,
He
you don't look
lifted me
strong.
up on his shoulders, allowing me to open the vent and crawl inside. When I looked at the door again,
Kid,
the man
hurry
had
up and
managed
get
to
off
fit his
his
arm
back.
through the hole and reached for the lock. I quickly grabbed Alex's hand, but struggled to pull him up into the vent.
Kid, you were almost...
Alex!
No,
I
you
shouted
killed your best
and
friend.
began
You
going
killed
after
your
him.
best friend.
I pursued the figure until I was led to the abandoned subway deep within the forest. It was chilly and foggy, meaning that I could only see objects within a range of 5 or 6 yards. Inside the subway was a pool of freezing cold water. It was so dark that I couldn't see anything. I had to rely on listening to the screams from Alex and track the source. As I slowly walked through the subway, I was now struggling to breathe under the intense stress and fear of the situation. I called, but there was no response.
All I hear is
I
rats.
continued walking through the water until the exit was no longer visible. I was now experiencing a massive panic attack. I had lost track of Alex, and I had no idea where I was or how to get out.
Please tell me y'all found my boy
Where
Alex.
are you, Alex?
He got caught too. On October, Alex was confirmed dead after he was inside the ticket office hanging from the... Oh my... You got your best friend killed. You got your best friend killed. His closest friends remain. Okay, so he's missing.
Back when I was in college, me and my best friend Miko heard a rumor that our dormitory was haunted. I didn't encounter anything in the 2 years of staying there, so I was skeptical. I could see why the rumor started. Our dorm was kind of creepy, and Miko was convinced it was true.
Oh, yeah. I know I said that this was gonna be a long video, but I'ma save the rest of it for tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the last day I do the scary stories until next Saturday or Sunday. 2 days of this scary stuff. And I don't like scary stuff, so don't be asking me to play no scary games, because I ain't doing it. We're gonna finish this tomorrow, y'all. And there will be more Minecraft episodes, so don't worry about that. So, wait, what am I doing? I feel like I'm forgetting. Nah, I said to go on Monday. Okay, like, share, subscribe, put on Instagram, Snapchat, show it to your best friends, your parents, your girlfriends, your boyfriend, show it to everyone y'all know. and say it. Y'all just gotta say it. Till next time. And I'll be getting a better camera. So, till next time, support the new King of Assassins.